What's up, gang? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue, and guess what? I am not in the studio. I am in my mobile office, as I like to say, my mobile office, and I'm heading to work. Actually, I'm not supposed to work today. It's a little bonus when the guys came down with COVID, so I'm stepping in to grab a slot for them and take care of the my job for the day. But anyway, I'm actually jumping on today because I may not have time later on to do a video podcast. So I figured let me jump on today and talk to you guys about whatever's going on, in life, the things that happen that get in the way, that stop you from creating the life that you want, that stop you from moving forward, that keeps you living in the past, and things that keep you hoping for a future that you never even attempt to achieve, right? And this is some of the things that I talk about, man. When I talk about my top mistakes, this is what people do. Tons of people, they don't know how to move their life forward, guys. And I don't want that to be you. I want you to have an extraordinary life, right? So as I'm driving today, right, and the sky is phenomenal. It is almost a peach colored sky, right? Blue and mixed, and it's extremely cloudy out, but it is beautiful. And as I'm driving, what I'm thinking to myself is I'm thinking new day, right? New day, and how you get out there and you create a new day. A couple of days ago, I talked about the 24-hour podcast, right? The 24 hours, and how your life has to be based on 24 hours. It can't be based on the past, and it cannot be based on the future. As I tell people, the past is gone and you can't change it. It is gone. And I know you've heard this time and time again, right? But probably the most important thing that you can do, number one, before we even talk about planning out your 24-hour day, is you have to let go of the past. Even yesterday, that's right, even yesterday. And it is because a lot of us have a need to hold on to the past, right? And we're mostly talking about, a lot of times, past pains, right? So a lot of people hold on to past pains, things that have hurt them, and they almost hold on to them like a badge of honor. And when you hold on to pain as a badge of honor, what you do is you lock yourself in a loop. And that loop, all that loop does is it gives the person who hurt you, or the event that hurt you, all of the power. And it takes the power away from you. So when you start to give up your power, guys, that is probably the biggest step when it comes to not being able to move forward. You can't move forward without power, right? You can't move forward without being able to take charge of your 24 hours, your first 24 hours. So, man, when I think about this, I think about a lot of past situations in my life, maybe past relationships, where I held a lot of anger in my heart, a lot of hurt, maybe a lot of resentment, even revenge even, man. You know how somebody hurts you and you base your whole future on paying them back, right? Paying them back for hurting you. And it is one thing I heard a long time ago, and it was in the most unlikely place. It was in a real estate seminar, and the speaker said that hurt people, right? And it's very, very difficult to move forward in life when you're dealing with hurt people, right? So I found out in my life, right? Number one, if somebody hurts you, you gotta go ahead and you gotta move forward, guys. You gotta move forward. It's just something you have to let go, and that takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of willpower and a lot of effort to do that, because, as I said before, we have a very, very strong need to hold on to pain, right? We hold on to pain, and we think that us holding on to pain makes us stronger. But what I've learned over time is when you hold on to pain, what it does is it actually makes you weaker, sort of like stress, how it breaks you down slowly, because it uses you against yourself, right? Because it's not the person who hurt you that it is attacking you right now. It is you hurting yourself. So it's a self-inflicting pain that over and over again puts you in this loop that stops you from moving forward in life. It stops you from creating. It stops you from even planning for the future. And so when you begin to let go of pain, now you can start thinking about what are you going to do for the next 24 hours, right? And so one of my things that I realized for myself was putting up a schedule of things that you know if you don't take care of them now, they'll hurt you in the future. So it's not planning for the future, but it is mapping out what you're going to do for the next 24 hours to get the most out of your life, the most productivity, okay, the most energy, the most fulfillment, the most happiness, the most joy. And so it is how you start off your day, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And a lot of people tend to think that if they plan out their life, they're not going to enjoy it as much. They would like to be more spontaneous, right? More just spur of the moment type people. And what I found out was that the less you plan, the less you get done. So you don't have to plan out every single thing in your life, but you do have to plan out the majority of things that you need to get done in order to have a good life, right? So instead of sleeping in, make a plan on getting up early and doing something that helps you to have the most energy to start your day, right? What are you going to do to start your day to get the most energy? And so for me, for a while, it's been just hopping on a spin bike and going, right? Just hopping on a spin bike and going. And that is whether I do 5 minutes or whether I do 30 minutes. You know, usually I just tell myself, hey, just hop on this, do about 5 minutes, and then we'll just hop in the shower and get our day started. But what I found was that once I do 5 minutes, then I feel like maybe I should do 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes, and then 20 minutes, you know. And so usually my morning starts off with about 20 minutes of spin bike. And, you know, once I got that blood flowing and a good circulation going, I want to throw in maybe some push-ups, and then hop off of that and stretch and get a good shower and have a nice breakfast. And that in itself kind of gets my energy levels going for the day, right? Once I have my mind going, my physical body active, and I like to do some journaling, just some writing down of some thoughts. I've been taking account of the dreams that I've been having, because what they say is a lot of times is your dreams are like an indicator of what's going on in your life. And so if you are to take your time and write down some of the dreams that you're having, and then go back and just evaluate them and look at them, you may be able to figure out, okay, what am I currently dealing with? What stresses am I under that I am hiding? And so that's what I do. I write down my dreams, what I've been dreaming about, what I've been thinking about, and it kind of helps me work through an entire process of clearing my mind, clearing my spirit of any ill feelings, any stress, or anything like that. After I do that, I kind of write down a little bit of gratitude, right? There should probably be a lot of gratitude. But I write down my gratitude, and the important thing about writing down things that I'm grateful for is the fact that writing down things that you're grateful for, it helps you to appreciate what you currently have. Because I know a lot of us are so locked into what we want and what we need to do, right? And that is important, especially if you plan on giving value to as many people as possible. You want to write down some things you need to do. But one of the most important things is you have to appreciate what you have right now, right? Because trust me, what you have right now is probably what you prayed for in the past, right? Or probably something that you worked for so hard in the past. And I don't want you to forget the fact that that was so important to you before you got it, guys, before you got it. So be grateful for what you have right now. And it's not just the point of saying I'm grateful for it. Write it down. Write it down. Show yourself that you're grateful for it. Put it on paper. Put it out there to yourself. I am grateful for this. And I write down simple things. It's nothing dramatic that I write down when it comes to me being grateful. I write down things like, hey, I am grateful for another day, right? And I am. And you should be, because if you don't have another day, you don't have anything to be grateful for, because you won't even know about it, right? You didn't wake up today. Because so many people do not wake up every day. 150,000 people on average every day don't wake up. 150,000 people. So think about that the next time you open your eyes, right? For me, it is a jackpot every time I open my eyes, because each day gives you a fresh 24 hours, okay, and another day to change your life, right? So think about that, guys. You get a fresh 24 hours to change your life, a fresh 24 hours to do the most possible. So if every day you get a fresh 24 hours to do the most possible, then every day you should have some type of plan to get ahead, some type of plan to make your life the best life possible. So it may take some studying, it may take some reading, it may take you gathering some information from somebody. For me, it took like YouTube videos, it took some courses, it took tons of reading, okay, and a strong mentorship for me, because it's a lot of things that you can't pick up in books, a lot of things you can't pick up in reading. But I do suggest to you guys, if it's somebody you admire to be like, you should probably grab their autobiographies or their biographies and really, really read about them. But for me, it was the mentorship that gave me the subtle nuances, guys, subtle nuances that I think I picked up out of habit. It's almost like a child being around a parent, right? When you're a child around a parent, the parent says, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. But if the parent smokes, right, the child, even though the parents have said it's not good for him, may end up being a smoker, right? If the parent drinks, even though the parent tells the child don't do that, when the child gets of age, or hopefully if the child gets of age, they drink, right? Don't spend all you make. But if the parents are poor with budgeting and money, then it's most likely that the child will spend all they make and they'll have poor financial habits. So it is the subtle nuances that you pick up around people that allows you to become more like them. And so that is one of the things that mentorship has done for me. So it hasn't been what the mentor has said to me directly, but it's kind of been what I picked up just being around a mentor that has helped me to have a better life. So that's just some of my morning routine, right? And I'll tell you what, I am a optimist, and I kind of live my life mostly on positivity, right? I expect good things to happen to me all the time, right? Even if they don't, I expect great things to happen for me in my life and the people around me that I help to have great things happen for them, even if they don't. But what happens is, because of the fact that I feel this most of the time, good things do happen. Most of the time things work out. Most of the time I figure it out. And that is just because I have a positive outlook on life. And because I have a positive outlook on life, what I do is I begin to move my life forward in expectation of things working out for me. Okay? And that is what you have to do. Even if you're not a positive person, you can still move your life forward in expectations, right? You may feel that you're not good enough, but move your life expecting something to happen for you, right? And so you may not have that emotional feeling, that emotional attachment that things are going to happen for you, but you need to understand the work that needs to be done so that you can constantly work on making it happen to you. And therein comes my 24 hours, right? And my 24 hours is scheduled where I make sure within that 24 hours, I write out my obstacles that I may face, right? And things that I want to do throughout the day to get the most of my day. You know, for me, one of the main things that I have to do every single day is my podcast. I've already dedicated myself to 365 days of podcasting every single day. From that point beyond, I will probably do like a 3 or 5 year plan. But right now, it's a 365 days of podcasting. So, knowing that I usually don't work today and I get the opportunity to do my podcast, I told myself to say, you want to know something? Plan ahead, do the podcast in your car while you're driving to work, right? You have a nice 30-minute drive to work. Do your podcast while you're driving to work. Now, in doing my podcast, guys, I don't have my notes that I can refer to. You know, I don't have anything, my visual cues that I can look at to help me to stay on task for whatever I'm talking about. But what I do have, guys, is a scheduled idea of things that I wanted to discuss, right? I wanted to discuss 24 hours. I wanted to discuss schedules. I wanted to discuss gratitude. I wanted to discuss I need to hold on to pain. And last but not least, guys, it is about pleasure, right? It is about pleasure. We should be all striving to get the most possible pleasure out of our life, right? So when you're striving to get the most possible pleasure out of your life, right, you need to schedule it, right? And I know that I'm probably beating this schedule to death, but what is so important, guys, is the fact that you know what's coming next, right? Or you have an idea of what's coming next when it comes to you creating a schedule, right? When it comes to you creating a schedule, you reduce the anxiety, you reduce the anticipation, because you know that you have to do a certain amount of work to make a certain event happen, right? Now, as far as my podcast is concerned, I know that because I work to a certain hour and I'm also working later on tonight, that I don't have a lot of time in between commuting, okay, and going home and prepping for the day to write out a full podcast. So because I don't have the time to write out a full podcast, right, I figured the best thing for me to do is to talk about some topics that I'm already very familiar with on my commute to work. And it have to be something, obviously, that will help you to move forward and have an extraordinary life. So that is what I've done today. That is what I've talked about today. And hopefully you guys have gotten something very, very important out of today's podcast. And that's something very, very important is the fact that you have to let go of the pain of the past, right? You have to let go of your need to hold on to pain like a badge of honor. You have to let go of your need to seek revenge on someone who has hurt you, because that only gives them more power than when they were with you, especially when it comes to relationships or jobs or experiences, man. You have to learn to let go of rejection and keep moving forward, guys. Life is not going to stop for you, just like it won't stop for anybody. It is constantly moving forward. The sun rises, such as a beautiful day like today, okay, and it sets every single day. No matter what happens in your life, no matter who dies, no matter who is born, no matter who is hurt and who is happy. So your best bet, guys, is to live your life seeking the most pleasure possible. And the best way to do that is to plan it out, man. To plan out your 24 hours to get the most pleasure possible. And that may take some work. It may take some planning. It may take some scheduling, right? It may take some sweat, and it may take some tears. But you will know that if you plan it correctly, right, at the end of the day, you're going to be happy as possible because you're working towards something that is going to give you a better life, that you're working towards something that is going to provide something for your family to give them a better life, which then in turn makes you feel incredible, guys. And that is how you have to go through life, man. Working each and every day, every 24 hours to make your 24 hours the best as possible. And then add those 24 hours together each and every day to create a habit of this is the type of life that I'm living. I'm living my life in 24-hour clips, okay, for the rest of my life, right? And in those 24-hour clips, I am planning and scheduling to make sure that I have the greatest life possible, living an extraordinary life. So that's it for today, guys. I am at work. I'm wrapping up my commute, and I am going to talk to you guys later, okay? And you guys have a fantastic day, all right? Oh, and guys, by the way, make sure you go over to lieutenantsalblue.com. Pick up the copy of my book, Top 25 Mistakes En Route to the Good Life. And that is LTSALBLUE.com, lieutenantsalblue.com. I got my book, Top 25 Mistakes En Route to the Good Life. I also have my audio book over there. It took me about 7 days to record all of that on my audio book, and you can finish it in 4 hours. Just listen to it at twice the speed. And also, guys, go on over to social media, all the social media platforms, and give me a shout out, okay, at all of the social media platforms at Lieutenant Sal Blue. That's Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Reddit, right down here, YouTube in the comments, okay? And that's it, man. I'm wrapping it up. I'm pulling into the parking lot, and I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a fantastic day. Deuces.